A spinning text effect is a fantastic way to add visual flair to your website and draw the user's attention. In this example website, dereksoo.com.au, as I scroll down, you can see there's a headshot of Derek Soo, and around that specific headshot is a spinning 360 text that says, "I've worked with some amazing brands." And it just keeps it a very dynamic feel. Let's go ahead and create this in Webflow. So step one, we need to create this actual 360 text, and we can do this in numerous ways. We can do it in Figma, in Sketch, Adobe XD, Photoshop. It doesn't really matter as long as we have that spinning text. I'm actually going to give you guys a free way of doing this. Let's go ahead and jump into Canva, and we can go ahead and add a text block right here. And the thing with a spinning text is there is two sections. There's a top section and a bottom section. So we want to make sure that the text is fairly even. Let me give you an example. If I put your paragraph text and then I'll put like a line dash to separate it, and I'll put something like hello and then put a line dash, it's not going to work very, very well. So I recommend having it fairly even. So in my text, I'm going to go ahead and put all caps. I'm going to put there is nothing new dash under the sun dash. And you'll notice that I separated the two texts, the top and the bottom, with a dash right here. And you'll notice right now that perhaps it's not as even. So I can go ahead and remove new right here and place it into the second section. Now that's done, you can go ahead and change the font size, the font color, the font typeface itself, etc. I'm going to perhaps change it to, let's say, purple, and I'm going to maybe make it bold, and maybe I'll change the font to Inter right here. And once that's done, what we can do in Canva is select that text and just hit effects, and we can go ahead and curve it by clicking this button right here. From here, it actually gives you options to curve it even more. So you can go ahead and curve it so it's almost touching each other, but you don't want to go over that because it starts to wrap. So right now, in my case, it's probably roughly around 67. So if I let go, that is the specific text. I can make it bigger. I can also rotate it so that it starts at the top. So right now, if I actually scroll right here, that's kind of how I want to read it. There is nothing dash new under the sun. So that's what it looks like. In order to export this, we can go ahead and hit share. Then we can go ahead and hit download. And this is going to download in a PNG. If you have Canva Premium, you can go ahead and download it in an SVG, which I highly recommend. But because this is a free version, we're going to stick with PNG. And what PNG means is that it's going to export it in the actual size that you see. So this canvas is actually 500 by 500 pixels, meaning roughly if I was to export this and put it into Webflow and the website is bigger than 500 by 500 pixels, the text will start being blurry unless you use SVG. Nevertheless, you also want to hit transparent background right here, but this is actually a premium version, but I'm going to show you a way around this. So I'm going to go ahead and hit download. And now that's done, I can go ahead and just put this into a design platform just to show you what's going on. You'll notice that this is actually a white background. That's because we didn't use transparent background because it's a paid feature. I know it's annoying. So what we can do is we can use another website called Remove.bg. Then we can go ahead and export that image that we created, the PNG, into this website right here. And this will actually remove that background like so. Then we can hit download and we can hit free. And you'll notice now if I look at the text, it is now a transparent. So that is a free way of doing it. But again, there's many ways of doing this circular text. You can do it in Photoshop, Sketch, Adobe XD using plugins. I'm just showing you one free way. So now we have a proper PNG transparent of the text. Let's go ahead and add this into Webflow. So right now, I'll just drag that text into Webflow. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add a div block. And I'm going to give this a class of text around. And I'm going to go ahead and just put a fixed pixel. So maybe 400 pixels by 400 pixels. And I'll give it some top margins. Let's just say 3 rems. And in this text around box that we created, I'm going to go ahead and add an image. And I'm going to go ahead and replace this image with a headshot of myself. Give this headshot a class of headshot. And I'm going to go ahead and put the width as 80% and the height as 80%. So it's taking 80% of the parent, which is 400 pixels. I'll go ahead and also change more size option, fit from fill to cover. And I can go ahead and also change the positioning right here to be at the top. That way my head is centered in my specific case. I also want to round this headshot, so I'll give it a radius of 50 viewport width. And right now, from here, with the text around, I'm going to go ahead, hit flex, and center this to the middle. And I'm going to go ahead now and change this from position static to relative. And I'm going to go ahead and add an image. And I'm going to replace this image with that circular text and give it a class of circular text. And I'm going to go ahead and change the position from static to absolute. And I'm going to go ahead and fill it all the way around in the center. And I'm going to go ahead and change the width to 100% and the height to 100%. So that is what I've done. I'll just recap it. I've just added a master div block called text around with predefined size. So 400 by 400 pixels. I've changed the position to relative, meaning we can use absolute positioning. Then below that, we have the headshot image, which is taking 80% of the width and 80% of the height, and it's set to cover. So I can actually fill in and look at the image in a certain way. Then below that, we have the circular text, which is added with width 100% and height 100%, which is the size of the parent, which is 400 pixels. And we change the position to absolute. So for example, I can actually go into the master div block text around, and perhaps it's too big, so I can change it to 300 pixels by 300 pixels. And you'll notice because I use percentage, everything is responsive. One thing I noticed is this specific headshot is a bit big, so maybe I'll change this from 80% to 70, and that is looking pretty good. Again, you don't have to do it this way, but I'm just showing you. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit interactions. Then I can go ahead and hit page trigger right here, and I hit page load. So when the page load, this effect is going to play. I'll hit action, start animation, hit new, and I'll go ahead and type in circular text. And right now I can go ahead and hit a Z to open up the navigator, and I can go ahead and select my circular text, hit plus, and then I can go ahead and hit rotate because I want it to rotate 360. Then I can go ahead and affect the rotate of the Z index right here. So I want to start at 0 degrees, and I want the duration to be 0 seconds. So I want it to be, this is the initial state. The next thing is I want to hit plus, end, and I'll go ahead and hit rotate. And in this case, I want to rotate it to 360 degrees, hit enter. And right now the duration between 0 degrees to 360 is 0.5 seconds. So that's obviously too fast. I can hit this play button to prove it. You'll notice it's pretty fast. So it depends what you want. Maybe I'll just put it to 12 seconds, hit play, and you'll notice it's now spinning. Once you hit save, you want to go ahead and hit loop right here. And if you hit preview, what's happening is that it's going to play this animation, and it's going to take 12 seconds. And once it's finished, it's just going to loop and loop and loop. That's how we have this seamless looping effect. So once you preview the site, that's what it looks like. And that's how you do a circular text effect in Webflow. I hope you found this video super helpful. Check out more of my video effects right here, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.